Testing, yeah. Great. Good evening, everybody. You well? Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Yeah. It's good to be in Cape Town. Notice I didn't say it's good to be back in Cape Town. I'm not from here, contrary to popular belief. But it's really good to be in Cape Town. I've been enjoying the running water for the last 2 days. Driving in a straight line because there's no potholes. It's been fantastic. Just trying to navigate the traffic lights at work. That's been the big challenge. But Cape Town has been showing off over the last 2 days. It's been really beautiful. So my job this evening, is to just take a bit of a look back on the Gradidge Mohura journey and kind of give you a sense of how we got to where we are today, and then I'm going to hand over to Kagisho, who will talk about the road forward for GM Investments, and largely from a branding perspective, and what we're doing with the company. So on that note, I'm going to ask the DJ to... Thank you. So that, in a nutshell, is the GM story. So how did Gradidge Mohura come to be? Quite coincidentally, it was a chance meeting that happened literally 20 meters away from here. There used to be a restaurant or coffee shop or cafe like 20 meters behind where we sat, maybe 40 meters. And I was down on business from Johannesburg. Kagisho was working in the building. And I was reading the Business Day. And back in the mid-2000s, the Business Day, you read like this. Not like this. So, and I put the paper down to reach for my coffee, and Kagisho walked past. And it was that conversation that we had that morning that pretty much led to Gradidge Mohura Investments being founded about a year later. So we got our license in October 2008, in the middle of the financial crisis. I remember that landmark, or that milestone, quite clearly. I was sitting at my desk looking at what was happening on the stock market, and Kagisho says, "Oh, we got our license." And I remember it should have been a happy moment, because without a license you can't operate. And I remember looking back at him, looking at my screen and thinking, like, what are we doing here? Like, are we really starting a financial business in the middle of a profound financial crisis. And yeah, Kagisha was an MBA graduate. I was doing my MBA at the time. And we had plans. We had we had a worst case scenario, a best case scenario, and a base case scenario. And because of when we started, we underperformed our worst case scenario. It was horrible. We had no right being in business. So that was 2009, but Kagisha and I are both stubborn people. And we persisted. We pivoted. We couldn't use the word back then. It wasn't kind of fashionable back then. It meant something else, but we pivoted. And I started doing some other stuff. And Kagisha carried on with the planning. And kind of as the economy recovered, GMI kind of started, looking a bit like a business again. 2011, 1st of March 2011, we made our first really big appointment. Virat Jugai. Virat, if you could just stand up. So Virat joined us. We headhunted Virat to head up our estate planning and risk planning. Virat had been Old Mutual's top consultant for many years. And we had been interacting with him, and we kept saying, Virat, clients need your skill set. It shouldn't be Old Mutual and Momentum at the time that were benefiting. We really needed our clients to come and experience that. And eventually we convinced him. We had to give him some of the business, but that's all we had. And it wasn't worth much back then. But yeah, he's had a profound impact on the business. So that was 2011. 2013. So 2012, I think we reached 100 million assets under management, which kind of gives you a modicum of respect in the industry, not much, but it's better than saying 90 or double digits. 100 million, three numbers, three before all the zeros. And so, again, there's a glimmer of hope, but also it gave us a bit more confidence. And we decided to expand. In 2013, we almost went out of business. We expanded ourselves into trouble. And on I think it was the 27th of July, I found Kagisha, the 24th of July. I found Kagisha, I said, I've paid salaries. There's now 2,000 Rand left in the bank account. I haven't paid your salary or mine. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, Kagisha and I are about stubborn people, and we persisted. We started working on the business, and 2015, we made another big appointment where we got Cyril Chetty, who joined us as our Chief Operating Officer. So we kind of worked on the business, started, to really focus on growing this business and making it a proper business. 2018, on our 10th anniversary, we won Wealth Manager of the Year. We beat out Standard Bank Private into second place, PSG into third, Sanlam Private into fourth, and NBC, which was a well-established independent practice like ours, into fifth place. And it was a bit of a fairy tale because that was our 10th anniversary that night that we won that award. We won all those awards. And in fact, it was the first time that a boutique firm had won the main award, which was Wealth Manager of the Year. And I always say that it was a catalyst for them to change the awards. So now we can't win it again until we're quite big, until we have over 100 people working for us. So that was 2018. 2019, after 11 years after opening our doors, we achieved our first billion of assets under management. So that was an important milestone. Again, a billion sounds more impressive than 100 or 200 or 700 or whatever the number is. So again, it gave us a bit more respect. It gave us a bit more of negotiating, a bit more influence in the industry, so to speak. 2019, I think the reason you're all sitting here tonight 2019 we opened the Cape Town office. So Wynand finally joined us. We had discussions with Wynand 2 years earlier that failed horribly. And I think hopefully the Wealth Manager of the Year and other things that we were doing kind of convinced Wynand that this was a good place to leave. So Wynand was working in this building, if I remember correctly, Wynand. So Wynand joined us in 2019. 2022, we reached our 2nd billion of assets under management. 2018, we opened the GMAP, the asset protection, our short-term insurance business. 2019, we got our Category 2 license, which allowed us to launch our own funds and allowed us to launch model portfolios. And then 2022, we reached 2 billion assets under management. So after taking 11 years to get the first billion, it took us 3 years to get our 2nd billion. And in 2024, we got our 3rd billion of assets under management. So I always say, don't clap too hard. It's your money, not ours. So we wish it was, but it's not. It's yours. And yeah, in 2019, Kagisho, Wynand, 2 other of the staff members went away, and we set our 2030 strategy, where we said by 2030 we hope to reach 10 billion assets under management. So hopefully we'll be back here to give you a report on that. So last year, what kind of why we're talking about our story at GMI is we've rebranded, and we're introducing kind of not a new way of doing business, but really bringing it through in our branding. And what I'm going to do at this point is ask Kagisho to kind of give you a sense of what things look like going forward. So my job here is done for now. Thank you.